Of the season, they're at 9-1, a draw coming in at 11-2. Luis, how do you see this one going?
Yes, I think that Real Madrid needs to show a little bit to their fans. They want to keep the momentum going. They cannot relax a little bit because they got a big game coming soon. So I think that is going to be a proper win for Real Madrid. Even with the changes in the second half, that I'm sure there are going to be a lot. Those players are going to come on a high, trying to prove or show to the manager that they want to be involved in the Champions League as well. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Real Madrid.
And Luis, am I right, if you're a Vinicius Junior or a Bellingham, if you feel anything, you're asking to be taken off?
Quickly, as soon as you feel that you cough, you raise your hand and ask for a replacement.
That's it. Thank you, Luis. Luis, of course, will be back with us at half-time. Shaka, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's difficult to see anything but a Real Madrid win in this one. But again, it may not be a Real Madrid that gets into 5th or 6th gear because of what's to come. But even so, Real Madrid in 3rd or 4th should be enough, particularly at home, to get the better of Alaves. That being said, Alaves came within a few minutes of picking up a point in the reverse fixture back in December, but you just see these two teams are just kind of playing out the season. It's all been decided.
Real Madrid, of course, have plenty of reasons to party over the last week or so. For now, it's all about preparation for June the 1st and that Champions League final. That starts here at the Santiago Bernabéu, the penultimate home game of this La Liga season, which, of course, saw Carlo Ancelotti lead them to the championship. It's Real Madrid against Alaves. It's live here on ESPN+. Your commentators, Ian Dark and Stuart Robson.
Hey, this is the world's game. It's played here and here. It's for everyone. This is where the next generation creates football's future. To get you closer to the game, closer to the joy, closer together. La Liga EA Sports, transforming the game.
Good day to you. Wonderful scene at the Bernabeu Stadium, home of the champions again of Spain, Real Madrid. They've done it for the 36th time, and they're 18 days away from the Champions League final at Wembley against Borussia Dortmund, putting out a strong side tonight against Alaves, who've done well this season. They were promoted into La Liga, and they are in a comfortable 11th place in the table, having taken 10 points from the last 12 available. Forced to draw with Girona, who's having a great season, of course. Scored in stoppage time to get that point. And the guard of honour, of course, is Nacho. Holds that handsome trophy, which is a familiar one for Real Madrid. It really is.
It certainly is. They've been outstanding this season. Just that one loss, or two losses in the season, both against Atleti, one in the Cup, one in the League, both away from home, but overall their performances have been excellent. Front players have done their job. Bellingham has been a great signing. Toni Kroos has come back to somewhere near his very best form. It's been an outstanding season for Ancelotti and his players.
60,000 fans turned out for the traditional celebration at the Cibeles Fountain on Sunday. Some wild scenes. Jude Bellingham addressed the crowd in Spanish. They loved that. But a good year for Alaves as well here. They'll want to make a decent account of themselves away from home. They did win here in the COVID area by 2-1.
And as you said, they're in a good run of form at the moment, so they might just cause a problem. Samu is a key player for them, the centre forward. Certainly running behind. He's a problem when balls come in the box.
Really is a splendid side. Renovated the Santiago Bernabéu. Real Madrid rested a lot of their likely Champions League final team on Sunday at Granada, but this is something like the team we think might line up at Wembley, with the exceptions of the rested Tony Rudiger and the injured Aurélien Tchouameni. Keeper Thibaut Courtois is given more game time after his cruciate injury. Will he replace Andre Lunin for the Champions League final? He's been given plenty of time to get himself ready. Busquets Ferrer is the referee in charge from Mallorca. course, the VAR team are ready to do their stuff if required, which we hope won't be too often.
It is match day 36.
7 changes tonight for Alaves. The 4 players retained are the keeper, Jesus Owono, only his 3rd La Liga game, this midfield player Ander Guevara, Akbar at the back, and Marine, who like Blanco and Rioja were once on Real Madrid's books.
They are now 6 points clear.
Looks like they've resisted the temptation to go to 5 at the back.
Yeah, they have done that in the past against some of the bigger teams, but it looks like a back 4. Marty coming in at left back.
Ahead of Cadiz.
Adgar will be the centre back.
Superior goal difference.
Plays the right back. He's work cut out against the Junior or Rodrigo. Bellingham sometimes starts out on the left hand side, but he's got a difficult job.
Aguirre's
Tricky before the game for Cesar Luis Menotti, the famous coach of Argentina, led them to World Cup glory in 1978.
And that's perhaps not surprising, considering the impending departure of Yagoba Arrasate, the coach who has led them so well for the last 5 years. He is on his way out, and therefore...
Hey, this is the world's game. It's played here and here. It's for everyone. This is where the next generation creates football's future. To get you closer to the game, closer to the joy, closer together. La Liga EA Sports, transforming the game.
A 2-2 draw at Athletic Club, where they conceded deep into stoppage time with an error from the goalkeeper Sergio Herrera, who loses his place tonight. The players gathered.
Cesar Luis Menotti, who coached in Spain at Barcelona and Atletico Madrid,
where the fans await. It's a
he was
drizzly
only
day,
39
not surprising, in
when he coached
Pamplona,
Argentina with Mario Kempes, that team, amid all that ticker tape in '78.
I still remember it. I was 13 at the time. What a World Cup that was. What a team they were.
He was famous for chain smoking, wasn't he? 85 when he died. Carlo Ancelotti. Another Champions League final beckoning for a great, great coach. Saw somebody describe Real Madrid the other day as a bunch of friends who have an benevolent grandfather in Ancelotti. That's quite a good description, isn't it? They do have a great spirit. They've shown that. They've needed it. They've got out of some tight corners, notably against Bayern Munich with those 2 late goals by Hosselu. We might see him later on the bench.
But even in that game, you always felt they were going to get something. You know they're always going to come back. They've got that belief. Got players that can cause problems. Deal with a long throw here to start with.
Almost waiting for it. Georgi Haji's son, Dionis, he went for that ball. And then Rioja. His shot is blocked by Carvajal. His form has been so good that he's going to get a new contract. That's the word from Madrid. Be hard pushed to get a better right back than him, wouldn't you?
He does both sides of the game. He can defend, but he also loves to get forward. Watch when Toni Kroos gets the ball, switching it out to him.
Another long throw from Haji Samu, looking to flick that on. Haji again, another good ball in there, and a couple of big blocks from Courtois, who passes his first test. Of course, everything is a bit of an audition for him as he works his way back to full fitness. He is the #1 goalkeeper, but Lunin's done well while he's been away, so it is a call for Ancelotti to make in 18 days' time, but maybe he's already made that call in the back of his mind.
Well, 2 good saves, and then he grabbed the ball at the 3rd attempt. A couple of throw-ins that have caused Real Madrid problems. One from that far side, then Hadji came across to this side.
Alaves on a really good run just at the moment. Now well clear of the bottom 3, 13 points clear. It's a good effort, it really is, under their coach Luis Garcia Plata. And you'll notice, I think tonight at various points he can be quite explosive and volatile on the sidelines. Not at the moment though, not yet. Madrid at that stage, aren't they, these players? And a lot of them would be serious contenders to be starters at Wembley. They don't want to get injured. How much is that on a player's mind in a game like this?
It is on their mind, but you still have to play the game properly. Real Madrid need to do, and their players would want that, to get off to a good start, take a lead, and then they can control the pace of the game, make it much easier for themselves.
Quite a good start here by Alaves. Here's Garosabel, the former Real Sociedad fullback who arrived for $500,000 last summer. Alaves in their traditional blue and white stripes.
There's that throw-in that caused one or two problems. Back into the box from Hadji along the ground. Suddenly gets a little touch on it. There's the first save, there's the second. I mean, they were both at him. One was with his foot, that one with his hands, and then he grabs the ball at the third attempt.
Blanco had a little dart at that as well, didn't he? As the ball ricocheted around. Marin, he was on the books of Real Madrid as a youngster. He still is a youngster, 21. He's actually on loan from Real Madrid with Alaves. And that is allowed in Spain, unlike the Premier League, where you are forbidden to play against your parent club. Here's Mendy.
Hislop said in the studio that it took him 6 games to get fully fit and up to speed. Courtois going to get 5. Played against Cadiz. Played at the weekend. He's going to play here. There's 2 more games to play.
Yeah. And I think he will start them both. I think Carlo Ancelotti's more or less made that plain, and they would hope he'd be fully up to speed. But you think he can't win with this decision, don't you?
It's a difficult decision for him, because if he brings Courtois in and he makes a mistake, they'll say, well, you should have stuck with Lunin. He was the goalkeeper that's done so well for you, and probably Courtois wasn't quite fit enough. And he puts Lunin in goal, and Lunin makes a mistake. He says, well, why didn't you play the world's best goalkeeper? So it's a difficult one for Ancelotti.
He usually copes with that sort of thing pretty well. There's his opposite number today in his 15th job in the last 23 years, Luis Garcia Plata. He's had 5 promotions and 4 times he's been fired along the way.
Hopefully not when he's got promotion.
Sometimes it only takes a bit longer, doesn't it? Halfway through the next season. Seen that often enough. But it's gone well this time around for him and for Alaves. From the Alaves province in the far north of Spain, quite near the Pyrenees and the French border, is Vinicius Jr. Others struggling to match his pace and keep up with him. He might go alone here. He wants to. Awono comes out. Just been put in for the last couple of games. Jesus Awono, this is his 3rd La Liga appearance. Equatorial Guinea international goalkeeper.
He just overdid it in the end. Tries to chop it back across the defender. Abgat got too much on it. Isabel was coming back as well. They lost the ball in midfield. Guevara. And the counter-attack was on.
There's Bellingham, who's still after the Pachichi for the top scorer. He's 2 behind Artem Dovbyk. Others are in contention as well. And something just to keep your eye on in the last couple of weeks of the season. A hat-trick for somebody might do the trick.
A little bit of play by Bellingham as well.
Haji, he's seen Courtois slightly off his line and tried his luck.
Yeah, I think he was too far away. Always going to be difficult. I don't think Luis Garcia was particularly impressed with that. It was Bellingham that gave the ball away.
His dad tried those kind of things, didn't he? Fantastic player, Romania's greatest player, I think, by common consent, Georgi Hagi. Not easy to be his son, I don't think.
He was a magnificent player. One of the world's best at the time.
Yeah, big boots to fill is Camavinga. Vinicius, but the whistle's gone. Here is Bellingham. Does put the ball in the net, but it had long gone. Rioja is the player down injured.
There's a little scuffle on that side of the field. This is another little incident here. That's what the referee gave as a foul. This is Mallorca on the near side. Had a little set to with Rodrigo.
Alaves' recent run, a 2-1 winner over 2-0 win, I should say, over Atletico Madrid. Rioja scored in that game. 3-0 against Celta Vigo. 1-0 away at Valencia, but that was only their third away win in this campaign. They've got twice as many points at home as away, so not great travellers. Otherwise, they'd be even higher. Playing with good spirit at the moment. It's Duarte in the left-back role today instead of Javi Lopez, who played last game against Girona. Jon Garibi scored twice in that game. He's among those rested tonight. I wonder whether they're looking at this and thinking, well, whoever we put out here, we're not getting anything. If we want to finish top half of the table, and they do, we've got a more winnable game against Getafe coming up at the weekend.
You quite often see it in La Liga when teams have got 3 games in a week. Quite often a lot of rotation. Well, Madrid have done it for different reasons. Junior started mainly out on that left-hand side.
Mendy had his injury problems during his time at Real Madrid, but having a run at the moment. Camavinga, Bellingham. Real Madrid 4-0 winners at relegated Granada at the weekend. I thought that was quite classy of them. They didn't want to celebrate that too much. You'll get the trophy on that occasion as Carvajal was arriving on the back post. It's gone in, hasn't it? Well, it's extraordinary. He thought he was going to finish it, but Jude Bellingham, it looped in almost in slow motion.
Well, I think he's trying to volley it across for Carvajal or players in the box, but it ends up being a brilliant finish. Lovely crossfield pass. That's where he set it up down one side of the field. And then when it comes to Valverde, he plays to Toni Kroos. An assist for Kroos. He's onside, as you can see. And I think he's trying to play it for Vinicius Junior or even Carvajal, but it comes off the inside of his left foot and it loops over the goalkeeper and it ends up being a brilliant finish. Might even come off his shin. And a great ball from Toni Kroos, you'd expect that. Jude Bellingham arriving in the box as he's done all season. And there's the finish. Couldn't have been any better, even if he probably didn't mean it.
I think it was looking for a cross. Caught the goalkeeper out and the commentator, by the way. 19th La Liga goal of the campaign for Jude Bellingham, who knows he has a title winners medal. He's just one behind Artem Dovbyk of Girona, who's leading the Pichichi race with 20.
And that's just about the perfect scenario for Real Madrid. They've got the lead, now they can control the game. Now they can play at their pace. Also giving that little bit of confidence to one or two players as well. Bellingham hasn't been at his very best in the last few weeks. Another goal for him.
Because he's got the European Championships coming up with England as well. Alexander Sørloth of Villarreal also has 19, same as Bellingham.
I think we talked about Thibaut Courtois. The other player that might be under a bit of pressure today is Camavinga. Tchouameni may be not going to play until, or won't be fit probably until the week of the Champions League final. Can Camavinga do enough to replace him?
Yeah, Tchouameni's got a stress fracture of the foot. He's optimistic of being okay for June the 1st, but you'd think that might be touch and go.
So if you haven't played for 3 or 4 weeks, it does have a big difference. It can make a big difference. So, big night, I would say, for Camavinga.
That's his long ball, trying to find Rodrigo. Rodrigo, Vinicius and Bellingham now have 61 goals between them this season. It's just in the league.
Was the goal again. He's just onside, as you can see. It's Duarte that was sent out. Marin, I think, is the player that was playing him onside. Good run. And Jude Bellingham.
Quite the debut season, isn't it? It's his 23rd in all competitions for Real Madrid.
He couldn't have dreamt it, could he, really? Can't make such an impression so early on.
Vinicius, Bellingham again.
The player that's given away the corner.
Taken quickly. A bit of sleep there. Kroos towards the back post. Awono does get a fist to it. Needed to. And he's hurt.
Good ball played in from the short corner. The target was Eder Militao, who we know is good in the air. It's a good leap, doesn't do anything wrong. With a good punch. Certainly no foul. And that's the way he landed.
By the keeper.
I think it's the way he landed that got the injury.
Just being given a run in place of the regular keeper, Antonio Silveira. Carlo Ancelotti was in pretty mischievous mood with the fans, apparently, by the Cibeles fountain. At one point coming out, I have a dream, I want to dance with Eduardo Camavinga. Music, maestro, please. He said to the crowd. Don't think the dance happened.
I think Camavinga's probably got one or two better moves than Ancelotti, I would say.
I would think so. Maybe Camavinga's noted for his dancing in the dressing room.
Just offside here, they step up on him. It was a tight goal. I'm not sure he was offside when the ball was played. Samu.
Nacho likely to be leaving the club in the summer. Kroos, who won't be. And Luka Modric might be, though the fans were chanting for him to stay on Sunday at the celebrations.
He's certainly played his part this season, even when they've been down in games in the Champions League as well. He's come on and had an impact. So against Manchester City, he also did it against Bayern Munich. I'm sure he'll be coming on against Dortmund.
Eder Militao is another player working his way back from an ACL injury. Another hoping that he might get a start at Wembley against Borussia Dortmund.
Great analysis by Luis Garcia, our Luis Garcia, before the game about Eder Militao. At the start of the season, he was good at everything, exceptional in the games that he's played so far. He's only playing 50-60% of his maximum. I don't think he's going to be ready for the Champions League final to start anyway.
Rudiger's definitely going to start, although he's sitting out tonight's game. Nice ball from Guevara. And this is promising. De Rosabel fed it wide, and the ball was too near the goalkeeper. That was just a bit of a present for Courtois.
Sola's just trying to play it in. He's trying to get some whip on it. Play it along the 6-yard box. Good play by Alaves to get De Rosabel in space. Coming in from his right back position into midfield. He played around the pressure. Just needed a better ball into the box.
Real Madrid already top scorers in La Liga, adding to their tally with an early one from Jude Bellingham tonight.
Also the best defence as well.
Yeah. Well, they pulled a long way clear in the end. because they might have a Mr. Mbappe joining them as well, not to mention Hendrick, the young Brazilian. Tough for anybody to cut the gap on them. Here's Bellingham again. Mendy made that little darting run. There was no real angle for the pass in the end. How many passes Camavinga is leading his midfield rival by so far tonight? Somebody's keeping a check on all these things. Just as well, because we'll be asking some questions later. Bit of a loose one, and Guevara was able to cut it out. They have arrived for $2 million. Sola. Alaves have had a couple of promising moments early on in the game.
They certainly have. They've caused a problem with a couple of throws. That last move when Garnacabal found himself in a bit of space in midfield, had an overload, didn't make the most of it.
Here's Eduardo Camavinga again. Because Real Madrid will be big favourites to beat Dortmund in the final at Wembley. But Dortmund won't mind that. They've been underdogs most of the way through. They've been defying the odds. Vinicius into the side netting with that one.
Yeah, good build-up play. Then the quick switch of play out to Vinicius Junior, 1v1. Defenders are coming back. Not a particularly good effort at the end of it. Going at the near post, that was not really on. Akbar got in the way of his shot to the far post.
Attaque against Atletico Madrid coming up on ESPN Plus and Deportivo's 3:55 on Wednesday. Atletico Madrid, with a win there, will make sure of their top 4 place. At the moment, the clubs just behind them, Athletic Club, notably, hoping they might slip up, but it would take some mathematical gymnastics, I think, for that to happen at this late stage. It's Valverde. Lovely switch of the play. Vinicius. And another darting run. There's a lot of Ballon d'Or talk around Vinicius. Gave a very mature answer. It's not about that and me, he said, it's about the team.
Hasn't quite got it right so far. A couple of decent runs. He's gone past the first player. And the second player's just pushed him away. There's the goal again. Toni Kroos picks out the perfect ball. Bellingham had got himself back on side and just runs down the side of Garnacabal. There's no doubt he's trying to find Rodrigo in the box. Cushion it back into his path, but he gets it on his shin and it goes into the far corner.
It's been that kind of season, isn't it? Everything he touches, or nearly everything, turning to gold. Haji to Garnacabal. One of those brought back into the side tonight. They're making a fair few changes just lately. Have Alaves. Cross, a bit unconventional. Eder Militao was able to get it out of harm's way. One not to try at home, I think, that one, wasn't it, Stuart?
Yeah, Toni Kroos was put under a bit of pressure. He almost let the ball run out of play. Just helped it on to Eder Militao. Wasn't quite sure what was behind him.
There's Camavinga again. They might have to try to wrap up Real Madrid, but they're approaching this like they mean business. But I think that's important, isn't it? 18 days away, they've got to stay sharp. They can't be rested the whole way between now and then.
Absolutely. And again, Luis Garcia said it before the game. You've got to keep that momentum going. You're playing well, you're winning games. Don't spoil it.
So they won't be wrapped in cotton wool. Most rested at the weekend, back here tonight. Stay sharp. And they've looked sharp as well. Kroos playing this one to his Bellingham again. And this time Duarte's able to hook it away.
Another good run from Jude Bellingham. Oh, it's difficult to control that one as it was played into him.
Unbeaten at home all season, Real Madrid. In La Liga, 15 wins and 2 draws. Rayo Vallecano and Atletico Madrid, the only 2 teams to leave with a point.
Probably the best display I saw here was when Leipzig came to town in the Champions League. They were a bit fortunate that night. Real Madrid, Leipzig played really well.
Well, Barcelona were ahead twice, weren't they, in the match here? A little bit of a controversial game, as you might recall, a few weeks ago, which more or less, to all intents and purposes, settled the title argument. 3-2 win, Bellingham last-minute winner. Rodrigo's in a heap.
Yeah, Hadji, I think, player that may have made the challenge there. Wasn't it? It was actually left back. Duarte.
Yeah.
Probably just stood on his foot rather than anything else. Should be okay, Rodrigo. A few free kicks from Toni Kroos, but they try and reverse it back to Valverde.
Pressing towards Camavinga. Alaves scramble it away, but it's coming back.
No surprise that Real Madrid have dominated possession. 66%.
They could reach 99 points by the end of the season. Their record is 100 under Jose Mourinho back in 2012. Vinicius wants a 1-2 here. Stopped by Blanco. Sola. Now Samu. Sola's cross again. It's been a little bit of a problem from that right-hand side. They've had some crossing opportunities. They've not really made much of them.
Just looking at Toni Kroos's pass again here. Just picks it out beautifully, doesn't he, for Jude Bellingham. Gets off the back of Gorosabel.
One 0 up and threatening more, Real Madrid. Truth to tell. They have won their last 4 meetings against Alaves. 1-0 away from home this season. That took a 92nd minute goal, mind you, by Lucas Vázquez. Nacho was sent off in that game. Bellingham looked offside. Play on at the moment. Camavinga right across the face of goal. And Vinicius. 2-0. Like shelling peas, that, wasn't it?
Well, like you, I thought Camavinga might have been offside, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The assistant didn't put his flag up. It was a really good ball into Camavinga. From that moment on, Alaves were in a bit of trouble.
Slick from Real Madrid. We'll have another look back at that. But on the initial pictures, there was a hint of offside against Camavinga. Let's see. No, he's onside, on, isn't he?
Yeah, you see the centre-half on the far side just tries to step up at the last minute. He was too late in doing so. Camavinga with a good ball into the box. And there's Vinny Jr. in the right place at the right time. Just finds himself in that little bit of space. And a good finish. Excellent play, Camavinga. Still had a bit of work to do to go past his man Blanco. And then finds the right cross with his weaker right foot.
It was Abkar, wasn't it? He was playing him on very clearly. They haven't got that offside line right a couple of times now. I think on the first goal it was Rioja who just had strayed into a bad position defensively. Rioja. Camavinga biting into the challenge. He's been very, very energetic so far. Hoping he gets the selection nod for Wembley. There's a bit of that, isn't there, out there? I mean, a lot of the players must kind of know they'll be in the starting lineup. One or two others just could be an argument. Samu.
Look at the pace. I know Hadji gave up on it, but Carvajal's still working really hard. There's the aggression you were talking about from Luis Garcia.
Well, I knew this would be a tough assignment, and that is exactly how it's turning out to be. No suggestion at all of Real Madrid being on the beach or getting the deck chairs out. Vinicius again towards Rodrigo, and Owono made a little bit of a meal of it.
That's been a feature of Vinny's play in recent weeks, that cross with the outside of the boot. Seen Cancelo do it a lot for Barcelona. Vinny Jr. does it for Real Madrid. Just gets the ball in that little bit quicker by playing it with the outside of your right boot.
Of course, there was all that talk when Karim Benzema left. How would they cope without him? Would it work with Rodrigo and Vinicius and Bellingham in just behind? Well, it's working just fine, isn't it?
Well, I think when Jude Bellingham was signed, I don't think anybody thought that he was going to be as far forward as he has been. When he was playing for England, when he was playing for Dortmund, he was that little bit deeper. He was one of the sort of the holding player, but he was just a normal midfield player. And Ancelotti saw something else in him, that he could go and score goals, he could make those forward runs. And he's played him on occasions even as the main centre forward.
Yeah. He's loving the experience, and he's a cult hero in Madrid. On the ball now, Jude Bellingham. Camavinga. Vinicius again, up towards Rodrigo, his fellow Brazilian. This could be a long night for Alaves, you know.
We thought they might come and try and spoil the pod. There was a little grab by Gonzabel just on the outside of the box on Rodrigo.
Bellingham again. They're going to spend a lot of time without the football, aren't they, here, Alaves? Lovely play, Carvajal in towards Eder Militao.
When he's at his best, that's what he can do. He likes to break forward every so often. And a wonderful defender over the last couple of years before his injury. Didn't have a great start, did he, when he first came to Real Madrid? He had lots of mistakes. That was during the COVID period.
I'm just thinking, Stuart, it must be great really for Alaves and their fans to be in this position, middle of the table. They must have thought they might be in a bit of a relegation scrap around this time, but they're going to finish in the middle of the table. They hope they can get a few more points, maybe even to finish in the top half.
Yeah, when you come up, your first objective is to make sure you don't go back down again, and they're certainly far much better than that.
Yeah, they spent 72 years in the second, third and fourth tiers of Spanish football. That will be a free kick. Samu's challenged. Samu's got 8 goals this season. Respectable in the league, scored in both the games against Barcelona.
Not had much of a look in so far tonight. The game is going exactly how Real Madrid wants it to go. 2-0 up. They can keep the ball, they're enjoying the game.
And they're turning on the style a bit, aren't they? Pinging the passes around, enjoying themselves out there. Away by Ruben Duarte, who's been in and out of the team this season, a regular at Alaves the last 7 years. Forward by Mendy. Bellingham with a bit of grass to run into. Gives it to Vinicius. Goalkeeper Owono comes all the way out to Valverde, who wanted to hit that first time. He wouldn't quite sit for that to happen. Carvajal's going to try his luck. Duarte got to block him.
As soon as it went on to Carvajal's left foot, you knew there was going to be a problem for him to get the shot away. And then Eder Militao trying to win the ball back. Just clips Samu.
Carvajal's one of those Real Madrid players who could, in theory, go level with the great Paco Gento on 6 Champions League wins if Real Madrid do win the final at Wembley on June the 1st. Like the same for Modric, Kroos, Nacho. Here's Rodrigo. Get the free kick around the edge of the box.
Blanco with a lazy challenge, really, just sticks out his right leg. Rodrigo goes over it. He's been able to get in the game, the 2 central midfield players, Blanco, Guevara.
Hasn't all been sweet flair fantasy football this season for Real Madrid. Sometimes they've had to grind it out, like at Manchester City, and they got the penalty shootout triumph and absorbed a lot of heavy pressure. Very much on the front foot here, though. Rodrigo straight to the wall. Kroos. Vinicius. Towards that back push. Owono must have been wondering if that was going to creep in, like the Bellingham one as well.
But he did well. He chopped it back onto his right foot, and he's just lifted it to the far post. I think Bellingham's disappointed he didn't make the run in the end. Here's the second goal. There was the pass from Bellingham. Good play, Camavinga. And a lovely, actually, run, which we didn't see initially. Watch how Vinny Jr. just stops himself. There's the pass that makes it. Vinny Jr.'s racing into the box against the defenders, and then just stops, which you can't see there. 2 defenders are running back to their goal. He buys himself a bit of time. It's an easy finish for him in the end. Well played, Camavinga.
Takes it to the scoreline we currently have, 2-0 to Real Madrid. Haji, great hit! And Courtois was equal to it. Been a spectator for most of the last 25 minutes.
Well, his dad was known for great left foot strikes. Scored one in the World Cup in America in 1994. That was a good strike from his son.
Yeah, I remember seeing that team at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena up against the ill-fated Colombia side. She also has that long throw. Samu with the flick on. Kicked away by Nacho, who was very emotional at the celebrations to mark the title win by the Ceballos fountain the other day, probably realizing it would be his last time, but maybe they'll be going back to the fountain with the Champions League trophy as well.
There is that strike. It's not to go away from Thibaut Courtois, but good safe hands. His hands are in front of his body, so he can pushing away comfortably.
Sola.
It's not been his night so far. Sola, a couple of poor crosses. He just ran the ball out of play.
Just thinking time, I think, for Luis Garcia Plata. It's Fede Valverde, the Uruguayan midfield star. He's played into trouble by Vinicius there. Haji get the free kick. Vinicius knew it was inadvertent, just caught him in the eye.
Yeah, sloppy from Vinicius Junior to start with. He commits the foul.
A free kick is all it is. Sola with that free kick. Looking for that little flick on Gorosabal into the hordes of white-clad supporters behind that goal.
I would suggest that probably wasn't the right decision from Gorosabal. Might have just helped it back into the danger area. All their centre halves and players in the box. A real waste from the right back.
Eder Militao. Sloppy that time. Nacho caught out Samu. Left the ball behind. That gave Camavinga all the opportunity he needed to pickpocket it and get Real Madrid moving forward again. Blanco. Finding it hard to really get any traction in midfield. Antonio Blanco today used to play for Real Madrid's junior side Castilla. 5 games for the first team as well. Rioja. Marin's pass is too easily cut out. Now he's out of position, needs to get back. Rodrigo. Vinicius making a little angled run. He's gone into an offside position for the moment. Now he's not. Looks to Benoit. Bellingham wanted that on the back post, I think.
Yeah, he's not particularly happy with Vinny Jr. Good run. Rodrigo did well, as you said. Vinny had run offside a couple of times, so he just held up the plate. And his left foot just can't get it on target. A lot have come down that left-hand side for Real Madrid. Not too much down this near side with Valverde playing infield. Carvajal has made some forward runs. Got any crosses in so far?
San Guevara, and it's kind of gone like that for Alaves. It's been a bit of an armchair ride after the first couple of minutes for the Real Madrid defence.
There's Luka Modric in the background there. What a player he is and has been.
Still super fit as well. Of course, he's being the great pro he is. He's not that happy only getting limited minutes. Can't get used to that idea. You understand that, don't you?
Absolutely. It all depends whether he wants. He's not going to get, if he stays, he's not going to get lots of minutes next year. So you assume he might be on his way.
Be interesting to see exactly where that might be. There'll be offers, won't there? And we know the kind of places there may be offers from. One would be the United States. She was able to pick it up. Blanco plays it wide, hoping that Sola can do something with it, but the ball went out of play. They're frustrated, I think, Alaves at the moment.
Look at the stats there. They've had more shots than Real Madrid, but really trouble Thibaut Courtois too much. He had that save from Hadji, the only couple of throw-ins where he made a double save.
I think later on we might see Carlos Vicente, who's really taken the Irish from the out on the left-hand side for Alaves. He's very quick. Guevara. Now Duarte. Side by Rioja. Alaves at least trying to pop a few passes around. Just build a little bit of rhythm in the game. Blanco. This is more promising, this attack, but Real are able to break it up, and not for long. Garosabal played the inverted fullback role, and now he's out of position, and Real can exploit that space he's left behind with Rodrigo. Vinicius.
He's had a poor last 10 minutes, Vinicius. He's given the ball away every time he's had it. Nacho was up the field as well. Camavinga's just gone into the centre-back position for the moment.
Guevara. Duarte towards Samu, just pulled into a little bit of space, but Camavinga was alive to that, and the flag is up anyway.
Yeah, exactly what Camavinga was there to do. Nacho, you can see racing all the way back. There he is. He's trying to get back, but the ball was played, and he is just offside. Good defending though by Camavinga. He still won the header.
Here's Bellingham. Thinks about the shot, and he got hold of it as well, didn't he? Bit hot to handle that for Wono.
He went for power rather than trying to bend it into the far corner.
Jude Bellingham will be very, very sad about what happened to his former club, Birmingham City. He's a Birmingham boy, loves the club, and they've been relegated from the Championship to the third tier in England, League One. I know he keeps in touch with all of their games. Would have hoped they escaped on the last day. That did not happen.
Not sure the club was run too well over the course of the season, was it, in terms of managerial changes and players that were brought in and let go?
Yeah, it was a little chaotic. There was the spell with Wayne Rooney in charge, it didn't last too long.
Yeah, they were in 6th place when he took charge.
Yeah. Chance for them to rebuild. Meanwhile here is Bellingham. Valverde lines up nicely for him, and that'll do. Fede Valverde. It's only his second La Liga goal of the season. They've been hard to come by, but he struck here, and it's 3 before half-time.
Well, you know he's got a good strike on him. This time, they switch the play out to him. He races onto it. I thought he was going to go across the goalkeeper, but he struck it really firmly. He actually sliced across it slightly, and it beats the goalkeeper at the near post, Nwono. What a really powerful strike. Xhaka might think the goalkeeper should have done better. But just look how powerful he hits this. It really does put some whip and bend on it. Into that top near corner. Really struck with power.
There wasn't really much Owono could have done with that. Not the pace and velocity of it. Into the roof as well.
Goalkeepers don't like being beaten at the near post.
Xhaka will have something to say at half-time, and we'll bow to his opinion. He knows far better than me, that's for certain. Certainly well struck by Valverde. We've seen that before from him. Here's Duarte. Rioja's cross is charged down by Carvajal. There's a ruthlessness about Real Madrid. You might have expected they'd be a little more relaxed and subdued, but they're playing this as if the title is on the line tonight, aren't they? At the moment, Rodrigo again. Could get worse for Alaves. Vinicius tried to do it with the outside of the foot again. Rodrigo with a attempted little flick, and this time just about prevent the fourth goal.
Oh, that's good from Eder Militao. They'll be pleased with that. Got there with his pace and then showed good skill. It's a nice ball played in by Vinny Jr. for Rodrigo, and he's trying to flick it with his back leg. Doesn't make contact with it in the end.
Otherwise, he might have been in business.
But it's been a very good first half performance by Real Madrid. Not quite so good from Alaves, it has to be said. Here it is, 3-0.
They are running away with this in prime form. Jude Bellingham, I think he meant it as a cross. It looped up and dropped in to give Real Madrid the early lead. Vinicius on the score sheet, Valverde on the score sheet as well. Real Madrid here, the champions of Spain. They've looked like champions. They really have. 3-0 up against Alaves so far at the Bernabeu.
Every match has that one moment that can change everything. Understand the skill and precision behind that play. With Beyond Stats powered by Microsoft and La Liga, millions of data points and AI technology come together to give you a new perspective on the game you love.
Geico covers dead batteries with their easy app and 24/7 help.
You've reached the dead end, monster!
No kidding. Dead batteries are the worst. But no worries. Geico gives me even more coverage and 24/7 help. See?
Wait a second. You're not Frankenstein's monster.
No, that's his cousin Trevor.
Did you try the spooky castle up the road?
Good idea. Thanks. You folks have a great evening.
Whatever you need, from coverage to service, get more with Geico.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games online at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app and take advantage of this great offer. DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours.
When Mario needs to be at his best, he needs protection that goes beyond. Dove Men with 72-hour protection and 1/4 moisturizer. So he can forget his underarms and focus on being unforgettable. Dove Men. Forgettable underarms, unforgettable you.
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant. Marines.
Captain, ever since you discovered zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character anymore.
You know we're not actually pirates, right?
Of course we be pirates. Look at me hook.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
If you are crispy, juicy, tender, and pickle-bearing, then you are the one and only McCrispy.
Half-time then at the Santiago Bernabeu, and it's a non-contest. Real Madrid 3, Alaves 0. As Ian summed up so beautifully at the end, Real Madrid looking every inch a champion in that first half performance where they completely dominated their opponents. Welcome into the ESPN FC studios. I'm Dan Thomas, Shaka Hislop alongside me. Let's take you through, shall we, the highlights of the first half. And that is La Liga trophy in Nacho's hand, and that's all the other La Liga trophies that Real Madrid have won. A lot. 2 minutes in, Courtois starting ahead against Lunin, and he pulled off a nice couple of stops here.
Yeah, very early on in the game, exactly what he would have wanted. Decent saves from Thibaut Courtois, maybe ones you'd expect him to make, spreading himself and make himself big to make the double save.
Jude Bellingham would open the scoring here.
Well, I think Jude Bellingham has intended this as a cross. No question about the offside. Nice ball by Toni Kroos. But I think he's trying to steer that far post. Comes off the shin slightly. When you're having the season that he does, those drop in.
So that would make it 1-0. waving to his family up in the crowd, and Bellingham will be involved in the second as well as he played it through to Camavinga. Vinicius Jr. with a tap in. Thank you very much.
Camavinga does so well initially on the stretch to control the ball, but once he does, the way he just glides past his defender here to tee up Vinicius Jr., who checks his run, is left with little more than a tap in. All the hard work done by Camavinga.
Courtois calling to action once again here.
Again, a good save, one that he would have seen coming all the way. Good strike. Again, just doing what's asked.
And then into injury time, Real Madrid would make it 3-0 here. Valverde with the goal.
Yeah, Valverde, who strikes the ball so well, cuts across this, beats the keeper in at his near post, and as Stuart and Ian were saying at half-time, maybe questions about the goalkeeper there. Don't get beaten in near post.
Real Madrid 3, Alaves 0 then the scoreline as we welcome in Luis Garcia to the commentator. Oh, Luis, you must be loving watching Real Madrid so dominant at the moment.
Honestly, I enjoy when Real Madrid have this. No, it's true, guys. I enjoy when Real Madrid plays well, do it in style, and tonight, even though the Alaves is not putting a good test on them, but you can see the intensity, you can see how Real Madrid, the intentions are right there. Movement, everyone is on free flow. You can see Bellingham on the left side, getting into the middle, Vinicius Jr. on the center, going to the left, Rodrigo. That's freedom from the player, but every single time you've seen Real Madrid always with the same shape, always keeping the position. That's something that is going to be very important for the Champions League final. So I think that even though they always hurt when Real Madrid does it so well, I enjoy when the players are doing a good job and they are showing what they are, the best team of La Liga this season. Fantastic performance so far in 45 minutes. Again, I think that the Alaves is not giving them a good test, even though that we've seen a good Courtois. Those reactions, everyone was expecting Courtois to do well, and tonight he had to do it 2-3 times, and he did it very well. So I think it's not going to be an easy choice for Ancelotti when arrived the time to pick him the 11 at the Champions League final.
It has, of course, been a dream debut for Jude Bellingham so far this season, winning La Liga, Champions League as well on the horizon. And when things are going your way, things like the opening goal, of course, occur.
No, it's been fantastic for Jude Bellingham. The way that he arrived, we talked from the very beginning of the season here. All together we're saying, wow, this is a different kid. He's only 20 years old, but the composure when he talks, the way that he addressed to the journalists in his press conference, this is something different. When we saw him on the field, we realized that we are in front of a big, big player. It doesn't matter the age. He's a mature player, he's a leader into the field, and he started scoring goals. And we said, no, he's going to dry up for a while because he's not a striker. But he's back on it. He started scoring goals again. He's showing that leadership from the middle of the park. He's fighting, he's keeping the ball, he's creating, he's linking with the play.
Yeah, you take a look at the top goal scorers.
Maybe it's a little bit luck. I think it's...
Sorry, Luis, go on.
No, I'm happy to say that he's right there fighting for the top of La Liga's top scorers.
Yeah, fighting for Pichichi. Just one off Dobbik at Girona. For the second goal shot, we talked about how this game was kind of important for Real Madrid to keep the momentum going, to keeping their top players fresh, and Vinicius Jr. is there to add to his tally.
A little bit of a tap in for him. Good work by Camavinga, as I said during the highlight. Nice little ball into Camavinga here, and then he's just gliding past defenders. As Luis said, I don't think Alaves have made too much of a fist of this. I don't think Real Madrid has had to get out to maybe second gear at best for them, and we know how good they can be. It's been very easy. But this is the one that just, well, at this point, kills the game off. That, beyond any shadow of a doubt, not that I'm sure that there was much of even that just to start with.
And then we'd see Valverde, of course, get the third. What's the goalkeeper thinking here, Chat? What did he make go wrong?
Valverde, an awful lot of space to hit. We know how well Valverde can strike the ball. So I think the goalkeeper is thinking he's going to go across him to the far post and starts kind of inching that way, if not letting his body weight kind of pull him over to his right-hand side. But then Valverde hits across it, and even in hitting across it, he gets so much power behind it. And the truth is, there's not a lot of space to beat the keeper here for Valverde, but high. and he gets that exact. But again, from that Titan angle, as a keeper, you don't want to be beaten there at your near post, not from that angle, not from that distance out.
Speaking of goalkeepers, of course, Courtois starting ahead of Lunin today. What have you made of him?
He's done everything that's asked of him.
So he starts in the Champions League?
I'm not getting there yet, Dan.
What do you need? What more do you need, Shaq? Look at this.
Everything that's come his way, he's been equal to. Saves that you would expect him to make. The big question comes in the longer term. How does that knee react to 2 games in quick succession? Does he play a third? What role does Lunin or Kepa play between now and the end of the season? Those are the things that Ancelotti has to weigh. Ancelotti would know Thibaut Courtois better than anybody as a manager observing his goalkeeper. And it's the little things that maybe we can't see or can't appreciate. Maybe some of the things that Courtois is saying about his knee in that dressing room after the game or at halftime, whatever it may be, that may ultimately sway Carlo Ancelotti's mind. But as of right now, everything that we've seen on the park, he's looked good.
Do you agree, Luis?
Yeah, I do agree. I think it looks sharp. It looks, when he's on the floor, you could see that he stood up very quickly, and the one that he has to make the effort, the power on the legs, you can see the length that he goes to make the save is also very good. I mean, we are not surprised that he does that because he's one of the best keepers in the world. Can he do it in that game? Can he keep it that momentum going? Let's see. And I think it's not going to be an easy choice for Ancelotti. But, of course, any way that he decides to pick, they are going to be top keepers on the goal.
Luis, thank you very much. Luis will be back with us at the full-time whistle for ESPN FC. Not only are we reflecting on what's going on in the Real Madrid game, but also a big clash in the Premier League between Spurs and Manchester City. Well, La Liga action then continues, of course, over the next few days. Girona actually playing now against Villarreal. You can watch that here on ESPN+. And then on Thursday, Barcelona away against Almeria. Coverage of that game starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. He's one back then from the top goal scorer in Spain. Can Jude Bellingham add to his tally after the break? Stay with us.
Geico can help cover cars, homes, motorcycles, and even accordions.
Pretty liberating knowing Geico can help insure our car. And with our home insurance, your accordion, too.
We're not the only ones out here taking advantage of Geico.
Smoke him, Edna. You sure showed him.
That's your pickled peppers I did.
Whatever you need, from coverage to service, get more with Geico.
When Mario needs to be at his best, he needs protection that goes beyond. Dove Men with 72-hour protection and 1-quarter moisturizer. So he can forget his underarms and focus on being unforgettable. Dove Men. Forgettable underarms, unforgettable you.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games online at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app and take advantage of this great offer. DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours.
The future is threatened by enemies often unseen. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
It's one fantastic ride. The turbocharged, tech-inspired Kia Forte.
Best 2 out of 3?
Kia. Movement that inspires.
The little things make all the difference. The smallest details can change everything. But if you put your heart and soul into it, glory will be yours. Founders. Beer and heart in the same bottle.
Welcome back to the Bernabeu. Real Madrid, as you look here at their third goal, scored by Fede Valverde, the Uruguayan, and comfortably on their way to making it 23 games unbeaten. Very, very good finish to the season from Real Madrid, already assured of the La Liga title. The trophy's been paraded tonight and will be again later. They've had their celebration by the Cibeles fountain, the traditional party scene in Madrid, and they've been sharp tonight, Stuart.
They certainly have. Of course, Alaves haven't been at their best, haven't caused too many problems, haven't defended particularly well, but good play from Camavinga. See, the defenders were going back towards their own box. Vinny Jr. just stopped his run, found that bit of space, and a nice finish in the end. But overall, if you looked at every Real Madrid player, they've played their part in the game today.
He's up to 22 goals for the season. Bellingham's up to 23 now, and still harbours hopes of being the top goal scorer in the whole of La Liga. Nobody would have expected that. I mean, he came up with the odd useful goal in his past, but he's suddenly developed into a very, very prolific goal scorer, like a Frank Lampard.
And it comes down to the way that Ancelotti's used him. Ancelotti obviously had a say in buying him, and then when he came, he went, I'm going to play him as high up the field in midfield as possible. He's going to play at the top of a diamond. For a little while, the diamond didn't work in terms of the defensive side of the game. When they lost to Atletico Madrid, they didn't defend the wide area as well, and at times he has to go out there and do the defensive side of the game. But overall, it's been really good management and understanding of what Bellingham can do by Ancelotti and his coaching team.
Just a reminder that Carlo Ancelotti is the only coach around who has won the title in all 5 of Europe's major leagues. That is a really quite incredible record. He was a good player as well, wasn't he?
Fantastic player. Part of that really good Milan side. His first role was as the assistant manager of Italy.
Yeah.
Alongside Arrigo Sacchi, who was his coach at Milan.
And that was back in 1992, Stuart. Real Madrid, of course, in their famous all-white, and Alaves blue and white stripes, their first-choice kit. Alaves lying 11th in La Liga. They'll be happy enough with that, having been promoted last season. They've got a 120th minute winner in the playoff against Levante to find their way into La Liga. A dramatic way to do it.
Abkar just giving Vinny Jr. a little nudge there as he made his forward run.
Here's Kroos. He seems to have so much time on the ball, doesn't he? Even in crowded central midfield areas. Velvet touch. Almost laconic in style.
And he picks up that position. Almost it's on the left-hand side of the central midfield players, but quite deep. He allows Mendy to go forward. And he loves that cross-field pass. His right foot, ball out to Carvajal, making forward runs, or if Valverde's out there, that's his signature pass.
Just so much big game know-how, and Germany are using that again now. A sensible move to bring him back in the fold. Germany could be dangerous at the European Championships. Valverde to lay this one inside to Jude Bellingham again. Bellingham will be aware, won't he, of the story in the top scorer stakes.
Oh, absolutely. And he just lost control of the ball.
He's also been quite outspoken about the racism problem they do have among some Spanish crowds, calling it a disgrace in support of Vinicius this season.
Samuel's not a happy man at the moment. Not happy with the service to him.
There is the race for the Pichichi trophy that goes to the top scorer in La Liga, Artem Dovbyk of Girona, who are going into the Champions League in probably next season. He's got 20. Bellingham's on 19. Alexander Sherlock of Villarreal on 19 as well. Lewandowski's not out of it either. If he came out with a 4-goal performance somewhere in the last few days.
This is a slight worry.
Well, it is, isn't it?
It's Eder Militao just holding his knee here. He goes up for the challenge. It's as he lands.
You hope that's nothing to do with the ACL injury.
Well, he's staying on. That's fine. That's good. But he just may have jarred it there.
In a way, though, isn't that one of those things for a player when you're coming back for a big bad injury like that? You get a nasty one, and a nasty landing it actually might raise his confidence.
Yep.
It's come through it okay.
As we were talking about in the first half, and Luis Garcia said brilliantly, he's feeling his way back in at the moment in everything he does. Not looking quite as quick as he did before he was injured.
It's all understandable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It used to be a career-ending injury, didn't it, before modern surgical techniques. Some wonderful medical people who can mend that very, very bad injury. Is Rodrigo. By Carvajal to Eder Militao. Carvajal was just caught by Duarte there. And he's going to get a card for the challenge, which I think is the first of the night, unless I've missed one.
You never miss anything. Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, just treading on the heel of Carvalho. I think it's an accident. They're both running in the same direction. That can happen. Always looks bad. And might be bad for Carvajal. Vasquez, of course, is on the bench.
Real Madrid's remaining games are Villarreal away on Sunday, and then their final game here is against Real Betis.
Here's that landing again for Eder Militao. Just there. Just see his reaction. It might have been actually when he tried to get back up again. He just held the back of his knee. I'm afraid I can't tell you which knee it is that he had the operation on.
But he looks all right, doesn't he? That's the main thing. Just felt it for a moment. There would have been some worried faces on the Real Madrid bench and among the fans as well. He's out there, he's staying on, and he looks just fine, which is great.
So I think he's a player that's just getting through to the end of the season.